What is up, you guys? We're back. We're gonna make a pretty fun project today. We're doing a custom cutting block. I've seen these things pop up on the internet quite a bit lately. Pretty much you go like this, your knives hang out hang out the top. We're gonna do custom patches and pieces for these little different parts of the cutting block itself. It should be pretty sweet. In this video, I'm mainly gonna be showing and talking a little bit about kind of art layout type stuff versus, the actual construction of this. For the most part, this is a pretty dang basic project. If you can't figure out how to do this, good luck. I mean, you'll be able to see really easy what I do to actually make this. Really straightforward. We're just gonna trace out pretty much these shapes and then just install them on there. So let's get to it. First things first, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and use this nice square edge to get my pattern. Make sure we're nice and even all the way around. Then we're going to trace. When we cut these out, we're gonna trim them down and kind of fit them a little bit better. Right now we're just getting kind of rough ideas without having to do all the geometry and like find out angles and stuff like that. I like using the corner lines for things that are square because a machine's gonna be able to cut this square in a way more square of angles than I am gonna be with my hand. So use as many of those straight lines as you can. We all know how tricky it can be to cut an absolutely perfect straight line. So we're gonna get into some art setup. What I'm gonna do is mark the absolute tiniest, hardly visiblest borderline in here. They're gonna sit like this, so when I'm thinking about the design, I'm gonna lay them next to each other and try and imagine, how it's gonna look. So maybe we can figure out how to swirl, figure out how we're gonna make these play nicely together. Since the front is gonna be the highlight point, I'm gonna save that for last, just so I'm nice and warmed up. We're actually matching this to go with a portfolio cover that I had just done for this customer. So what that's got is some sunflowers and some floral tooling and stuff. So we're gonna start out with the sunflower. So there we go, big old sunflower. Then what I'll do is kind of get a swirl going. On the previous piece, there was a lot of leaves, so what we're gonna do is add in a leaf here. A lot of leaves, a lot of sunflowers. Kind of feminine, but also kind of tough with the way that we stained it, and there was like some barbed wire and stuff on it. But since this is gonna be for her kitchen, we're gonna try and make it a little bit nicer, not so tough, ready to just punch you in the face. So there we go, I like that swirl. I'm gonna just get the easy petal down in here. Cool, I like that. What I'm gonna do is give this another petal. I like doing me some fold over swirly boys. So I'm gonna go in, give this a fold over swirly boy. A little dude inside that swirly boy there. So here's our background. This dude, so make sure it comes up and overflows a little bit nicer. Start of this vine. Then what I'll do is, since this is kind of an awkward spacing, I'll probably try and flare these flowers out, or these petals of this sunflower out a little bit more. So that way this can just be a good little background chunk. And then we'll throw a little petal in here just so that there's not this weird blank space. So that'll be a background. Then we can go one of two ways. We could just kind of put another petal like this and kind of another petal out here. But what I think I'm feeling for this design, we're gonna really start filling the space up. I'm gonna throw a little leaf here, kind of over the top of what we got going on. Then this should kind of start closing out that corner. Come in here. And give this dude a little boop. And there we go. Cool little simple swirl. Not too wacky, not too much, not too little. I think I did a pretty decent job kind of spacing it out. You still get the huge sunflower in there. You still get some vines. You still get a little bit of scrolling work. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. Okay, so since we don't have a ton of space left, I'm just gonna do probably a swirly boy, and then I'm thinking about maybe putting a flower down at the end, or a leaf down at the end. So that'll be our little front corner. I do like the idea of probably mirroring the sunflower over to this side, and then we can kind of have this kind of mirror effect go as we wind up this side. So I'm gonna start it down here, swirl it back. I think I'm gonna throw a leafy boy right here. Try and get into this void space down here a little bit between these petals of the sunflower. Ooh, I got an idea. Now we're working with something. Maybe throw a single swirly boy. Good old swirly boy is always coming in when you need him most. So throwing a swirly boy, then I get to play with kind of whether I think this flower should go over the top of it or not, which I think it probably will. You know, now you can kind of stretch that flower out so it just flows a little bit better, a little more concise. Throw a petal here. And then we have this dead space in here, which what I'm thinking is we're just gonna have something, a little some come out with this petal. And then I think that'll be good with the background like that. So I'm gonna come up like this now. I'm gonna put a big ass sunflower right here. And there we go. Our never-ending focal point. Boom. I could get, you know, maybe put a little dude down here. That's cute. I'll take it. I think it could have gone with or without it. Don't think it adds or takes away, to be honest. As I left this blank, it would give a lot more motion in this sense, but putting it fills in a little bit more of the background, which just makes the whole thing appear a little more full. So you kind of gotta pick and choose your battles. Choices, 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 you guys. So I think I am gonna put one in the corner, but I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller. Instead of having the center out here, I think I'm gonna go a little bit more like this. And then that way our leaves petals only go about this far. And then this also gives us some room to play with the petals, maybe give us a chance to interlock something in here or go behind. Boom, I'm already feeling it. Boom, great choices for yourself, Brian. Okay, big loopy boy. That way we take care of, with sunflowers, you always get these weird triangles. So I always try and like take the design out as far as I can get it without it looking too weird. So we'll go like that. We'll do a little bit of a, ooh, I like this. It'll go behind. Ooh, feeling that, feeling that. Boom, I like that. Like it very much. Boom, it'll go behind this guy out. Tighten it a little bit. Boom. I like that. That looks dope. It's gonna tuck behind. Tip of this is gonna go away. Oh, I'm fucking feeling it, you guys. Sometimes this happens too when it comes to design. That I was feeling this so much that now I have these kind of funky, weird spaces like in between here. I'm gonna try and get creative. A little dude down here, and then that really minimizes that empty space we got. Okay, so I like that. I think I'm gonna just take one more pedally boy here, drop him down, boom, there we go. Problem solved here. I'm just gonna run this, especially if we make this guy barely go over the edge. Ooh, there we go, there we go, there we go. So yeah, this will be background in here. Boom. Ooh, I'm loving this. Boom. I like leaving the little points of just detail, like leaving this corner here. Like I could have made this leaf big enough to just go over the corner and then I wouldn't have to deal with it. But in my opinion, I like leaving the little corners. Just gives you a little bit of extra detail. Just by making the leaf a tiny bit smaller, it really shows like you took that extra step to just make sure that the whole design is done properly. Not that it would be improper, like if you were to take the leaf out big and go over the corner, but when like a customer's looking at it or something, you know, they could usually, you know, they might not know everything about the intricacies and the time it takes to go into tooling, but those are the little things they're gonna look for and like trip out on. So I think I'm gonna just do a loopy boy, kind of a hidden loopy boy. Like I'm trying to squeeze it in there. We're gonna just kind of put it behind, just kind of hide it a little bit. And then now all I'm really left with is this space here, which I still am not entirely sure. Ooh, I got a random idea. I like this idea. Boom, we're gonna come out as if this vine is gonna go here, and then we're gonna just go boop, and give it a little teardrop, boom, boom, and just, ooh, leafy boy coming out of nowhere, leafy boy coming out of nowhere, boom. I really like that. Dope. So there we go. This is what it's gonna look like. All we got left is the front piece. We're gonna put the brand, boom, right there in the middle. And then I think it's kind of works out perfectly to go boom, sunflower. It just works, just looks too good, kind of works out perfectly. Give it some oomph, some oomph. So we'll start down here. I say we do swirly boy. Boom, there we go. Brand is worked in. So I'm gonna put a little bit of something down in here, but when I go to stain it, I'm gonna stain this middle background part just a little bit darker. That way it doesn't really take away from anything. So there we go, boom, boom. So here is what we got so far. We got our sides and our fronts. And then we also got the back. I'm gonna get swivel knifing on these things. All right, we got all these carved. Gonna pass them over to John Boy to tool them while I keep other projects rolling. Knock it out, bud. All right, so we got the pieces back from John Boy. They look absolutely killer. So those are those big side pieces. And these dudes that go with them. Top piece and that brand piece. And then here's the back piece. We ended up going with this diamond pattern. So I'm going to do some borders and some background real quick with some good old-fashioned Phoebing's dark brown. Then we'll be on to final stain and assembly. Stain turned out pretty sick. I'm gonna throw some sealer on it and go home for the night and pick back up first thing in the morning. I used a little bit of epoxy and threw some clamps on her to get all those pieces to stick nice. It took about a day and a half of dry time, but there she is, ready to get shipped out to her customer, get put in her kitchen. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Maybe it was interesting. Listen to me think through the different ways I draw floral, the different options I have, and kind of just the way I think about it. Let me know what you think of the format of how I mainly focused on like the drawing of the floral. Like next piece we'll make a different item but worry about a different step in the process. Maybe, you know, like the carving portion or the tooling portion or something like that. I had fun that way. You know, that way it wasn't just so boring talking about just how to construct this and, you know, every generic leather crafting video on YouTube. So let me know what you think about that too. Make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check us out on social media. If there's anything else you want to see me make, drop it in the comments below and I will work on making something cool for you guys by request. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Brian Tosak, I'm out.